If you were thinking of living in one of the popular Gayborhoods in the U.S., you might have missed it because, boy, it's gotten expensive. This is the focus group.
They're all business, except when they're not. It's the Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash.
Welcome to the Focus Group. John Nash here with Tim Bennett. FocusGroupRadio.com is our website. You can learn all about us there, including our Tuesday podcast, TFG Unbuttoned. FocusGroupRadio.com also has some of our media and partners, and you could email us there as well, letters@FocusGroupRadio.com. I want to thank all the listeners who've been sending in links to local ads, not always car, but local ads, and so far so good. I'm reviewing some of them now. We just sent some socks out to Fabio and to Jill, who had two hilarious car ads come in. So there you go, Mr. Bennett. Welcome to the week. And did you see that the Trump phone is finally shipping? Have you heard about this thing? You know about this, right?
I just laughed about it because it wasn't one of the disclaimers that it might not ever happen. Correct. Even though you put your $100 down. So is it actually shipping now? Huh?
And here's the review was this. The Trump phone is here. Critics say it's junk. And guess what? It's almost entirely made in China.
Of course it is.
There's a few things that are put together here in the U.S., perhaps some of the packaging or something, but entirely made in China. So I don't know. I don't know how your brain's functioning if you voted for him on the premise that it was lower prices on day one, battled inflation, that horrible Biden inflation, no foreign wars, all this list of stuff. It's just a raft of corruption and the little dancing, the YMCA, and there you go.
Listen, I know your mother hated the word stupid and you don't like using it either, but they're stupid.
They have
if you fell for his grift of the sneakers, the Bible, the water, the liquor.
I forgot the Bible, Tim.
The watch. I mean, if any other president or anybody in public office acted in this way of, he's like a carnival barker.
Yep.
And he's selling all this shit that is junk.
Yep.
And these idiots line up devoted, give him the $100. What about all the stupid little medallion crypto things he was doing, the Bitcoin and all that other sort of stuff where people lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they still have, or the university. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but and they just have fallen for it. And if any other person had done this, they'd probably be in jail for fraud. And what is this phone supposed to be so great about? Does it just have his name on it? I mean, what's it supposed to do?
There were supposed to be security features, privacy things. It was supposed to be made in the USA. But moving aside of that, before we got on the air today, or before we recorded the show, Tim sent me, and I think we should make this a Facebook destination thing. Tim sent me the funniest. Actually, Tim has a library. I think you have a library of some of the funniest things. The other week, you're talking about the woman throwing the candles down in Walmart. So Tim mentions it on the podcast. I hadn't seen it. He sends about maybe 20 minutes later, he sends me a thing. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm still laughing at it. And he just sent me this other one where this woman's a comedian's being interviewed on the set of a news show in Chicago. I'll just leave it at that because she cracks up the hosts and she's funny, and you'll get it if you're a certain age because it references something that happened that was a big trial. But I think it has to go on Facebook, Tim.
All right, I'll post it today after we're done the show.
Have you ever posted it before?
I have not posted it before. I thought of doing it. These are the sort of things, I guess. We have a dormant Instagram page because we had posted the show there, and I actually need to figure out. I think I had asked our producer for the password to get in there. I'll send you the information. I have all that. Yeah. But maybe that's where we just take those clips and we put clips like that on Instagram, and we just have our own curated clips of what we think is funny, which are really other people's things. But I do find some of them quite funny.
Not only is it a funny setup, what this thing is, but watching the people react to the joke to the point where they can't even talk. I mean, that's what makes me even laugh more, because you know that they're having a great time talking about it. So
there's another one which I'm sure you've seen of Liberace he was on the Red Skelton show.
Oh, no. Seriously.
Have you seen it? He's wearing, somebody said, I laughed out loud at the comments more than anything. Someone said he looked like a road cone. They had him in a vinyl vest, bright yellow vinyl vest, and orange shirt.
Wait a minute. I think I know what you're talking about.
And he's singing Something Groovy with all these people in these psychedelic outfits. And I thought, man, who thought this? And the comments are great because they said, this is what happens when you only have 3 channels to pick. And they said, this one guy said, he said he remembered, of course, I think he made it up, but he said his father's sitting there with the newspaper in his face. This comes on. He looks down. He sees Liberace dancing with this group and psychedelic stuff, shakes his head, puts the newspaper back up. It just doesn't say anything. But yeah, it's that.
You know our friends Pat and Gary, right?
Yeah.
Gary's mom and dad were visiting many years ago. They were visiting Pat and Gary's house because his dad was going to help them paint. And we came over for some cocktails and some hors d'oeuvre, like nibbly things. And his parents were hilarious. And his mother, we were all talking. And somehow Liberace came up. And Bob said something like he saw this clip of Liberace and Little Richard. It might have either been on Mike Douglas or Dick Cavett. And Gary's mother said something to the effect of, oh, boy, Little Richard probably made Liberace look straight. They're from Ohio, and it's like we could not stop laughing because she nailed it perfectly. It was so great.
That's like when you and I were doing our cross country trip, and we were at the Busy Bee in Marietta.
Yeah,
and it was dead quiet and hot. It was July. It was the hottest July on record. And you and I are sitting there with all these old salts. They're having their breakfast, and one's looking at the paper, goes, "Huh, Anderson Cooper's gay," and you and I are just looking at each other, and the place is dead silent, and the other guy can't hear. What? Anderson Cooper's gay. What? The one with the white hair. He's gay. And the old guy just goes, who didn't know that?
Oh my God, Tim! I'm so glad you're right. The Busy Bee was like one of your favorite restaurants in Marietta.
Yeah,
it was like
in
a
college
breakfast joint
back in the day.
I remember that clear as a bell now. And we got in the car and we put our Learn Chinese CD in.
On our way to West
Virginia. Driving through West Virginia. Oh my God.
Who didn't know that?
Who didn't know that? Like if you're a comedy writer,
sips coffee. Yeah.
That's the direction. Sips in brackets, sips coffee.
Who didn't know that?
Little Richard makes Liberace look gay. All right, Mr. B. The way the show works is we catch up as we've been doing. We have a segment called Caught Our Eye. Tim and I bring to each other's attention and to your attention little items that caught our eye. Usually they never match. So they're usually kind of fun. We have a business birthday, the only show in the universe that does that. And then we have a shop talk this week, which I teased, about the enclaves that we all used to want to live in, but boy, are they gotten pricey. We'll get to that. But before that, Mr. Bennett, what caught your eye?
What caught your eye? Here's what Tim and John found.
So this is just a simple one, but it caught my eye. It's the headline is New York construction worker catapulted out of defective porta-potty. Claims the wounds destroyed his sex life. So,
the catapulted was the word that catapulted out of a porta-potty.
Out of a defective, he has in quotes, porta-potty, claims the wounds destroyed his sex life. So, of course, this came from the New York Post, one of my favorite rags that I tripped upon. But then I
headless body, topless bar.
Found topless bar. But I also, what I tend to do when I find something out of the Post is I'll look for other sources, and it will pop up on CNN or some other place too. So they'd probably do what we do. But this is a Queens construction worker, and he says he was working on a project at TSX Broadway Tower. His name is Steve Gressy. And he and his wife are suing the porta-potty firm called Rent-A-Throne.
Rent-A-Throne. You can't even make that up, right?
Rent-A-Throne, right. They're causing a stink, I guess, as they say. So So it was the TSX Broadway Tower in Times Square, and this happened in 2023. They're just suing now in 2026, so they must have found a good lawyer. He said he walked into the porta potty and it collapsed as he entered it, sending him flying off the curb. The suit alleges this was filed in the Manhattan Supreme Court. They said the porta potty tipped over, rolled, and fell off a concrete curb, causing Gressy to be catapulted out of the porta potty onto the concrete ground. He fell to the ground, and it flung him onto the concrete. The suit alleges gave him serious injuries. It left him out of work and bedridden with costly medical bills and ruined his sex life with his wife, Janet. And it goes on to say that Janet's happiness in society has been impaired due to my injuries. She's lost support, services, love, companionship, affection, society, sexual relations, and solace of her husband. I can't believe all this. Exactly what the porta potty wounds were that affected the sex life, however, they did not specify. And Gressy's lawyer did not respond to requests, so they asked him, well, what exactly happened to him that he can't have sex anymore because of the porta potty incident? And so the attorney did not respond. They're seeking monetary damages. They said he's also sued the property owners, the developer, and the city of Manhattan, it looks like, as well, for not having secured this porta potty, not having it been done, secured correctly or installed correctly or whatever. And so, of course, the city, the developer, property owners, nobody's made any comment because they said now that has to go through the
legal
courts.
System. Yeah.
They talked to the construction company that he worked for, and they had said that essentially he was a bit of a unmanageable employee, recalcitrant, I guess is what they called him, and said that so he voluntarily entered the porta potty at his own risk and knew what that entailed. So they don't want to hear anything about it. So we'll see what happens. We'll update you as this makes its way through the courts.
You know, it's the only thing missing from the Post article. If that thing tipped over and he was flung from it, wasn't he covered in the blue fluid and all that
poop?
They didn't say a thing about it. Like, so you have to, well, maybe I don't know. That's what, when you said it tipped over and he's catapulted, I thought, so what ruined his sex life was maybe the blue dye never went away, or no.
It's I was in a minor fender bender, and when the person saw that I had worked for a car company, all of a sudden she thought it was the lottery and payday.
Yep.
And so we went to a mediator, and she shows up in these cheap Payless heels, clip-clopping around. Said she had such back injury that she was unable to have sexual relations with her husband or ride on the carnival rides down at Wildwood, right? So I said or make the kids' beds. So I looked at my attorney and I said, the problem isn't the little 10-mile-an-hour fender bump she got, it's the cheap heels she's wearing from Payless. He's like, be quiet, she's going to hear you. But all she was looking for was a payback. And I was furious because Subaru ended up giving her $10,000 or $15,000 just to get rid of her. And I was furious. She shouldn't have gotten a dime. When they had a picture of my car and the picture of her car, and then pictures of two similar cars, and said, show me the two that were in an accident, nobody could pick them out. It was like when you back into someone's parking space, parallel park, you might bump a fender. That was the extent of it. Anyway.
Insurance fraud. Basically, it's insurance fraud.
Yeah. So what caught your eye?
What caught my eye is a personality that Tim knows well. And I've met her and actually worked with her for one evening. Headline is, Pam Grier is 76 and has some wild things to say about her orgasms. Now, yeah, you're not going to be too surprised, right, Tim? I mean, it's Pam Grier. So Pam Grier is best known for her roles in the blaxploitation films. She was Foxy Brown, right? So she goes on a podcast that Julia Louis-Dreyfus does called Wiser Than Me. Conversation starts out casually enough, but it took a hard left into territory that nobody was prepared for when Julia Louis-Dreyfus asked Grier about her age, and Grier said, I think I might be 77 this year. I might be. I don't know, nor do I care. If I wake up breathing, I'm going to have a good day. Julia Louis-Dreyfus pushed further, telling Grier she seemed remarkably young and full of energy, and asking how she actually felt. Grier's answer was not what anyone was expecting. When you're young, you can have 3, 4, 5 orgasms in an hour, Grier said. But when you get to my age, you have one orgasm, it will last 3 days. Apparently, that was enough to make a big pause during the podcast. Louise Dreyfus, to her credit, did not let that go. What are you talking about? Like, what are you doing there to get a 3-day orgasm? I need details. And then Grier says, just be prepared. It's going to be 3 whole days. Grier's response was both the most and least helpful thing she could have said. You don't have to do anything, but when it happens, I just want to tell you, just be prepared. It's going to be 3 whole days. So they danced around this for a while, but she never really said, here's how it happened, or it was a toy that did this or something. She dropped it like a footnote and left Julie Louis-Dreyfus momentarily speechless and moved right along. But they kept coming back to it. And she's like, maybe it's my age. Maybe I'm getting better at it. But you're going to have a 3-day orgasm Sunday and be prepared. So that was really what caught my eye. I mean, I know it's kind of...
She had a 3-day...
Yeah. So I think I've told the story before. Tim had a back issue and could not attend an awards ceremony in Los Angeles. The LA Gay and Lesbian Center was giving Subaru an award for their LGBTQ marketing efforts and support of the community. And Tim said, Nash, you got to go. You're going to take the award. I said, no, none of the executives. They're in Japan. No one can go. It's not that they don't want to go. They can't go. You got to go in our honor and do it. So I go out with Greg. I practice my speech. He tells me not to look off the teleprompter, which I did and screwed up. But anyway, Pam Grier was presenting the award. She sits next to me before they come in late. These stars come in late to the dinner. They barely eat. She picked out her food, and we were talking about the Black West. I'm like, the Black West, and about blaxploitation films. She was very sweet, very funny. Then they come and they tap us on the shoulder. They take us backstage. And I said, Pam, I'm very nervous. Don't be nervous, honey. Foxy Brown is going to set you up. She walks out with no notes and gives an impromptu 10-minute speech about her and Subaru and the Black West, and her brother drives the Outback, And she goes, here to accept the award and is John Nash from Subaru's agency, Moon City Productions. I come out, and she's shorter than me, and the award was a glass triangle with a really sharp point at the top, and she's holding it. And I bend down to give her a kiss on the cheek, and the microphone's right there, and I don't realize it. And I just said, man, that thing could take your eye out. And everybody starts laughing, and she says really quietly, Foxy Brown set you up. And I saw her later in the evening, and she was delightful. But doesn't that sound like Pam Grier would say something like that?
Yeah, no, she was, and she'd been on our show through Pam and Nancy on SiriusXM, because she was a big supporter for Dining Out for Life.
That's right.
Which sadly, I found out, while it still exists, the pandemic kind of
killed it.
I guess, it did in a lot of. This was one of the smaller nonprofits, but I always loved it because it was local and the money stayed locally. Yeah. But she was a big supporter of that and a number of other projects Pam and Nancy worked on. But she was a character. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She used to call in the show when we were at Sirius and promote Dining Out or whatever. But I often marveled at people like that could just get up and perform. The other person who can do that is Cheryl Lee Ralph. She was also at Dining Out one year in Philly, and again, similar to what you and I experienced with Ron Reagan, although he was by phone for an interview that he wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
But Cheryl Lee Ralph got up and just delivered the most emotional, personal tribute around AIDS and Dining Out and all the HIV, and it brought the house down. But I marveled because no notes, just went up and told story, and it had a beginning, middle, end, and it's just it's a talent.
Give yourself some credit. You did that with Marcia Gay Harden in P-Town. You had no idea.
Oh my
you were
God, I
getting
was
a speech.
petrified. I remember you said, "Oh, you got to go up and give it. You have to introduce her." I'm like, "Who is she?"
Yeah,
remember?
And had she won an Oscar?
She just won the Oscar. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim gave a speech that you would have. It was so casual and friendly, and he said, you made some reference to an office betting pool.
Well, I knew nothing about her, right? So, so you're telling me you're just gonna have to hand this, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? I'm not prepared. And so, and I didn't even know the name of the movie. I still don't know. I should know the name of the movie she was in. But I just said, I remember there was an office pool everybody plays. You throw in $5 and you do the Oscar pool like you would the March Madness.
A Super Bowl.
Right, or Super Bowl. So I said, when I found out that I was giving the award to Marcia Gay Harden, I was delighted, and I owe her a world of thanks because I won the office pool by choosing her to be the Best Supporting Actress Oscar, and she was an underdog but well-deserved, and we're happy to have her here tonight to celebrate the P-Town Film Festival, whatever it was.
Film Festival, yeah.
Because I thought there's nothing else I can say, but then, and she was very gracious. Her little daughter sat with us. Remember, we gave her Folks Group socks.
And she was using them as puppets, the socks.
Yeah.
No, Bob looked at me. Bob just whispered to me. He goes, and he just did that off the cuff. I'm like, that's why he's Tim Bennett. Yeah.
No, not really, but it was funny. But yeah.
All right, folks. As I said earlier, we have a signature segment here on the Focus Group for you. Mr. Bennett drives that, but it's our business birthday.
Everyone does celebrity birthday greetings, but the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
This one's odd, sad, kind of almost borderline Paul and Mass sort of business birthday back in the day. So David Hans Schmidt is his name. Born May 27th, 1960. He died young at the age of 47 in 2007. He was a broker in celebrity photos and other celebrity-related items. His specialization was acquiring celebrity sex videos and nude photos, which earned him the nickname the Sultan of Sleaze, a moniker that he was very proud to have. So he started out initially, he made a career out of peddling photos and videos of celebrities that usually required either sex or being nude.
Sex tapes. Whatever.
Sex tapes, right. So his first deal was he arranged nude pictures of two women that were at the center of the sex scandal involving President Clinton. So this is back in the early 90s. So, and this is how he initially got his name, the Sultan of Sleaze. He agreed to, this was 1992. So he arranged a nude photo shoot with Penthouse magazine with Jennifer Flowers. Remember Jennifer Flowers, that name? And she had a allegedly 12-year affair with Clinton before he was president. So he found out that Flowers was paid $125,000 just to tell her story to, at the time, the National Enquirer or the Star magazine. Remember those two?
Yeah, I do. They do.
So he thought, I wonder if I get her to pose, if I can't make a deal with Playboy or Penthouse, I wonder how much I can get paid if she poses nude. And so they said, Penthouse said they'd pay $1 million. And so he was able to arrange that. So he got her to do this photo spread with Penthouse, and of course, then that started the career. So he was excited to continue with that. He also, so they said that Schmidt did broker the deal with Penthouse and ended up getting the spread done. They would not release any of the terms, and of course they said they had no comment. He also brokered two other deals with Penthouse: a 2,000 nude photo spread with Paula Jones, who also sued Clinton. And also he had he was able to acquire a wedding night sex tape from figure skater Tanya Harding.
Why? She's the one that arranged for the crowbar attack on Nancy Kerrigan. Why?
So he was able to sell those as well. He also tried to auction off Paris Hilton's diaries along with photos of her in various stages of undress and other personal items that had been locked in a Los Angeles storage facility that he was able to get into.
Wow. So
they said he became the merchant of filth, and he often let people know in Hollywood that if you have any dirt on someone, please call me. He also had that he was the one who distributed the sex tape of Dustin Diamond, the guy who played Screech on Saved by the Bell.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
And so he bragged about that as well. But what kind of did him in toward the end was he had tried to extort $1.3 million from Tom Cruise. So he had sent a note to Tom Cruise's representatives and saying that he had all this information about Tom Cruise and was going to release it unless they paid him $1.3 million. So they said, okay, let's meet. Well, what he didn't know is they brought an undercover FBI agent with him. So when they met with him, he went through saying, I want this amount of money, or I'm going to release these tapes or this information about Tom Cruise. And lo and behold, he ends up getting arrested for extortion and for threatening. And was facing federal prison and a $250,000 fine. So he ended up, he pled guilty. He talked to his brother. He became very kind of manic, afraid of what's going to happen, and was supposed to be sentenced October 11th in 2007. However, he committed suicide. I
was going to ask you, when I set up the slide, if you're watching on YouTube, Tim provided a picture, hilarious picture, by the way, because it's kind of horizontal, because it's him like at some autograph table. But the age was 47, was his passing?
Yeah, he was 47. So they said he realized he was caught with this thing with Cruise and not going to be able to get out of it, and didn't really have the money he thought he had. He wasn't good with finances, even though he got paid for some of these things he brokered in. But they said police found Schmidt at his home September 28th after the monitoring device he was required to wear after he was registered with the feds with the Cruise thing. So this device hadn't moved, whatever. So the police went to go check on him, do a wellness check, and they found him. He hung himself at home. His brother said that he had talked to him just recently. He sounded shaky. He didn't know what was going to happen to him in the end and how he was ever going to get through this. He thought his life was spiraled out of control. Jeez. And didn't know any way to get out of it. So sadly, he hung himself. But an odd character, but dealt in all this. And then there was other sorts of sleaze he was involved with as well with celebrity. But those were the big ones.
When you brought up Tom Cruise, I immediately thought, you don't mess with Scientology.
No.
Did you think the same thing? Because
that we were told at SiriusXM, do not say anything about Tom Cruise or Oprah.
Correct.
On SiriusXM unless you throw allegedly in front of it.
Yeah. I remember that. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ever make any accusations on Tom Cruise or Oprah, and don't sing Happy Birthday, because Paul McCartney will come after you. So.
That's how come our show used to use the Happy Birthday song.
Right. Happy birthday. Happy
Was
birthday.
that Nina Hagen?
No, and why can't I remember? The Misfits or the Miss.
Yeah. You're right. Okay.
Somebody like that, but it was Happy Birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our business birthday. David Hans Schmidt had a sad ending, but was known as the Sultan of Sleaze.
Sultan of Sleaze. We are the Sultans of Swing. Ba-dum-bum.
So listen, we're going to take a quick break right here. When we come back, we have a article we want to share with you about the most expensive Gayborhoods if you're interested in moving to here in the U.S. But the list is a surprise, so I think it was a surprise to me. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Focus Group with Tim and John. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com. They're all business, except when they're not. It's The Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash.
Welcome back to The Focus Group. John Nash with Tim Bennett. Focusgroupradio.com is the site. You'll learn about us there, including the Tuesday podcast we produce called TFG Unbuttoned. 3 quick stories. We like to think it's kind of like a Stairmaster or commute length, and it's packed with knowledge you have to have. But as we teased at the beginning of the show, a lot of different areas in the country, the Gayborhoods, it could be in Philadelphia, New York, P-Town, I guess Wilton Manors would be one, Palm Springs. Many people migrate there or settle down or retire there. I don't know that it's a very economical proposition anymore. And this is a list that Tim found. And we were both saying during the break that it's kind of a shock at what some of the values are. Tim, do they go in reverse order from least expensive? I think they go from least expensive to most expensive, right?
Yeah, so it goes 10 to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, so number 1.
So go ahead.
No, what I would say, what I was most, well, why don't we do the list and then I'll tell you what I was surprised about. So
the first neighborhood on the list comes to us from San Diego, California. Average home value is $1.09 million, and it's the Hillcrest section of San Diego. This is surprising to me, or maybe not. I mean, San Diego's become an extremely popular city. It's a beautiful city. But to be in the Gayborhood, you have to be able to cough up an average of 1 million, which is surprising, right?
Yep. Number 9, which is an area that John will tell you in the probably 80s, you probably wouldn't really want to be there, right? Yeah. Is Hell's Kitchen, which is a part of Manhattan, which the average home value there, 1.21 million. But it's the heart of Manhattan's LGBTQ plus nightlife scene, short walk away for Broadway and other popular areas, of course, of Manhattan. Is it right? It's above Chelsea, right? Am I right?
Yeah, correct. Correct. It's west of where we used to do the show. It's like Midtown.
Right. Yeah. Do you know anyone who lives there currently?
Oh, yeah. Tons of people. Okay. Some own, some rent, but Chelsea used to be. Actually, the West Village was, then Chelsea, and it all moved uptown. And now it's become not that affordable. This next one was a surprise to me because normally you move, it's again in Manhattan or it's New York City. You have to move to an outer borough to save money. Williamsburg, New York, 1.28 million is the average cost of a home there. Very friendly area of the city for LGBTQ plus individuals and families. But 1.28, that's like, oof.
And a lot of young people moved there, right, in the early 2000s for cost because they were priced out of Manhattan.
I guess it gentrified it, right?
Because didn't Paul, Paul Hagen, we used to have him on the show quite a bit.
I think he was. Yeah, I went
Didn't he live in Williamsburg?
Yeah.
I think so. Number 7 is Silver Lake, which is 1.28 million, so the same as it is in Williamsburg, but it's a residential neighborhood in northern Los Angeles. And also has a history of inclusion and a number of beautiful homes and businesses, of course, and shopping centers and a short distance to Hollywood. I'm not familiar with the Silver. I'm sure I've probably been through it, but I'm not familiar with
Tim,
Silver Lake.
Every time Silver Lake comes up, I do the same thing you just did. I'm like, have I been there? Have I driven through it? And I don't think so. The next one is a California as well, adjacent, Los Angeles. Average home in West Hollywood, which is where all the gay scene is at, is about 1.39 million to get you established there. So you can go to the Abbey and all the other great places in WeHo.
Go to the Abbey with your $2 bills, right, John?
The dancers, the
dancers,
the Go-Go Boys, yeah,
Go-Go Boys.
You know I love the Go-Go Boy.
Oh yeah, well, or a Go-Go girl. You like them both?
I give them both props because they're up on a box.
That's work. You have to be happy. You know, a lot of them don't want to be there. Number 5, Park Slope, which is also in Brooklyn, New York, 1.5 million, 1.5 million. More brown houses there and eclectic shops, a little different, I guess, than Williamsburg, and more residential or charming, I would say. Didn't you used to live in Park Slope?
Yeah, we used to live in that area, and I would say that it's Park Slope used to be very lesbian, crystal shops. And,
really?
And I'm not saying that lesbians are into crystals, but it was pottery. Crystal shops, pottery, whole like natural food shops. I guess it's everybody now. And here we are at number 4 with another New York City neighborhood, Chelsea, which Tim and I were just talking about. Now, Chelsea became unaffordable with all these expensive buildings. And now to be in Chelsea, you need 1.66 million. I'm down in Chelsea frequently. I'm not sure I'd be paying 1.6, but, there you go.
Now, the reality on this, though, if I'll say this, and you would know better than me, John, is, and so when we say 1.6, you're talking about what might be a basic bedroom.
Yeah, 1 bedroom, possibly
living room with a galley kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not glamorous, is it?
No, these prices, it could be a 2 bedroom, but hard to say.
Yeah. Number 3, Greenwich Village, which was initially way back when, probably the 60s, 70s, popular. Home of the Stonewall Inn, Christopher Street, what most people would think of as probably the quintessential Gayborhood, but 1.8 million there. You and I have a friend there who has a house. They bought it the late 80s, early 90s for under $1 million. And it's probably...
quadrupled?
Oh, they've been offered close to 20 million.
Oh my God. Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about.
But it's one of those old, beautiful brownstone houses, and
someday they're going to
little garden in the back, and
that's what people pay for too. Someday they're going to just decide that they're going to take that check.
Well, and everybody thought they were crazy, when they bought it, and I think it was either 89 or 90, and it was an outrageous amount of money then.
A stretch, probably.
Yeah, but wow. So
now number 2. And this is not surprising to me that it would be this high on the list as being very expensive, is the Castro District in San Francisco. It is so well known. We've been there a ton of times. It's in a nice neighborhood, or I guess it used to. Well, San Francisco is a very odd city because it has pockets. But I'm being pleasant. You and I have a very odd relationship with San Fran. It's beautiful. I prefer LA. Average home value in the Castro district is $1.91 million. I don't know exactly what you're buying for that because they didn't exactly rank the scale or the size or the square footage of each of these, but that's the average cost of a home, which is crazy.
I had the same feeling, just as a sidebar. You and I, over the years, traveling for work, and had been to Castro, had been to Provincetown and other places, and my last time through the Castro was similar to my last time through Provincetown. I was disappointed, might not be the right word. Upset might not be the right word, but how different it had changed.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it wasn't the same. Our last trip to Provincetown, you and I both said, if we don't ever come back.
Yeah.
And the Castro felt that way to me too. The fun of the cafes and restaurants and shops and things just didn't seem to be there anymore.
Not the same.
Not the same. And maybe it's age, or it's just people get priced out, right?
Yeah.
And the number 1 is Laguna Beach. I would have never picked Laguna Beach as an LGBTQ.
No, this was a shock.
Gayborhood. So this surprised me. But south of Los Angeles, beautiful area, Laguna Beach. But average home value $3.04 million.
Look at that jump from Castro to that. It's like big.
And there's another. John had mentioned I think it was the Washington Blade had a similar list, and that one was more about resort communities. So maybe we'll do that one next.
Palm Springs, Rehoboth.
Right. Maybe we'll do that one next week. But my surprise on this one was that it was 5 from New York, 5 from. So the top 10, 5 from New York, 5 from California. And I would have thought maybe Halstead, because Chicago would have been expensive. I thought DC might have been expensive. So I was surprised that. So the lowest one on here, the least value was $1.09 million, right, in Hillcrest, San Diego. So that was the least amount. But I thought. I was wondering, I guess maybe you can get something cheaper in Halstead or DuPont Circle or Adams Morgan. Key West.
You thought the exact same thing. No, you thought the exact same thing I did, which is, wow, it's literally just 2 areas of the country. And your example of Chicago and DC and some of the other cities is telling, because I know Chicago is not a cheap city.
No. Well, Boston, right? It could be Boston,
perfect
example. Neighborhood in Boston. Yeah. But you're right, Chicago, Boston, Philly. Probably Philly, you could still get a decent place in the Gayborhood under $1 million. So that wouldn't have made the list. But yeah, so it that was my surprise, is that it was really a New York and California based list. And but you and I also marveled at how, like everything else, real estate has gotten crazy. I can't imagine a young couple starting out to try to afford not only their college loans, paying college loans back, plus then trying to afford a mortgage and a home and raise a family. It's just
you know what Tim used to always say to me, if we were traveling, doing a road trip or something, Tim would be like, if we had the money when we were younger, and we weren't talking about crazy amounts of money, right?
Yeah.
We would have, if we had known what was going to happen with some of this real estate, we would have made investments or bought a place or something. But who can say, right?
Yeah. It's what Merv Griffin said, and I still think about it. I think about it down here particularly, and he's always been right. And I thought about it when I lived in Philly, but I never pulled the trigger. Merv Griffin always said, go to the nicest neighborhood, and then buy across the street of it, so that where it's not been developed or it's dumpy or you would say, oh, nobody would ever live there, and you'll do well. And that was his success to making money within real estate, and of course his life of investing. And I thought about that with Philly. There was a time in Philadelphia you would never go south of South Street, but now it's 20 blocks south of South Street, and you can't afford it. So, but people had, you think about that going to the next step.
Merv Griffin had another real estate tip: buy at the end of the road.
Buy at the end of the road,
where they can't build around you. Nobody could build around you. You basically, you're there, you're set, unless you didn't own the land or something. Like if it was a cul-de-sac, buy the last house on the road.
Yeah, you're the end of the street. So hey, we hope everyone's having a great week, a great start to summer, and thanks for joining us here on the Focus Group. Be sure to also catch our podcast, TFG Unbuttoned, which is released every Tuesday. You can find all of our media housed at focusgroupradio.com. We hope everyone is safe out there driving, particularly as the roads are getting more crowded. Don't text and drive. Arrive alive. And we'll see you next week here on the Focus Group. Take care.
It's the Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.